Hello, I would like to tell you a story. This story picks up where my first story, 1949 Plymouth Part 1, left off. It would be better if you watched it first, but these are different stories and can stand on their own. This video starts after the 1949 Plymouth acquired a crumpled fender in an epic accident featuring a very loud goat. After that accident, Dad said we had to take off the damaged fender and replace it with a fender from the original body we still had. He said not to drive it until then, and I still didn't even have a driver's license. My brother and I, did get the crumpled fender off, but I had promised my girlfriend I would see her at a specific time and place while she was at girls' camp up in the mountains. I just didn't have time to put the fender on before I had to leave. So after Dad left for work, I put the fender in the back seat, picked up a friend which a juvenile court said I was not to associate with, and we drove up into the mountains to keep my appointment. We did meet her, and we talked a long while, using more time than I had planned on. It was getting late, so I decided to drive a different route home. It was a gravel road, but I hoped it was faster than the way we came up. I was going fast, too fast as it turned out. I came around a corner and saw an excavation dug halfway across the road. There were plenty of signs, and a person going a normal speed would not have had any problem going around it. But I panicked and hit the brakes. The car slid into the trench and then flipped over and landed on its roof. The Plymouth didn't even have seat belts. I woke up in the back seat on the front fender. My friend was unhurt. A few other cars came by, and one of them must have called the highway patrol. A trooper showed up and started his report. Just as a side note, a funny thing happened while he was talking to me in the front seat of his car. I'm not sure why, but I asked him if I could be a trooper after an accident like this. He said I could if I didn't have any more problems. I have no idea where that question came from. I didn't think I had ever even thought about being a cop someday. I was totally on the wrong side of that issue. As a side note number 2, years later, I did join the State Highway Patrol, and that trooper had become the department's armorer. He lived in the same town I went to high school in. He also loaned me a pistol to compete in a PPC competition. I did well. After he retired, he was appointed a city judge. Now back to the wreck. After the investigation was done, the trooper called my father through his radio. He told Dad the car was totaled and asked what he wanted done with it. Dad said he and my younger brother would come up and get it. The trooper told Dad I wasn't hurt and then asked Dad what to do with me. Dad said, take him to the county youth detention center. Now that wasn't as uncaring as it sounds. I was on probation with the juvenile court at that time and had been warned what my punishment would be if I didn't start obeying the law and obeying my parents. So that's what happened. I was taken to the youth detention center and spent 1 week there. My room had a hard pad for a bed and only a hole in the floor for a toilet. I had to do schoolwork during the days. My meals were terrible. The whole experience embittered me against society in general and my probation officer in particular. I came out much more angry and delinquent than I went in. The 1949 Plymouth was retrieved from the mountain road by Dad and my brother while I was in the detention center. It was beyond repair, and I don't recall what they did with it. It was gone by the time I got home. So, without that means of transportation and my embittered attitude, I started stealing out at night and using either my family car or my friend's car. We stole gas and sometimes turned the speedometer back to hide our use. I got caught and punished a few times for that, but stayed on the wrong track, never learning a lesson and getting into more trouble with my probation officer. I even wrecked my family car and had to face the music for that. I'm going to end this story now. Things did improve for me, but that's another story, and this one would become too long. Thank you for your time.